Book 12. Epilogue. The Return to Earth. Out of abysmal trance her spirit woke, lain on the Earth Mother's calm, inconscient breast. She saw the green-clad branches lean above, guarding her sleep with their enchanted life, and overhead a blue-winged ecstasy fluttered from bough to bough with high-pitched call. Into the magic secrecy of the woods, peering through an emerald lattice window of leaves, in indolent skies reclined, the thinning day turned to its slow fall into evening's peace. She pressed the living body of Shraddhavan on her body's wordless joy to be and breathe. She bore the blissful burden of his head between her breasts, warm labour of delight. The waking gladness of her members felt the weight of heaven in his limbs, a touch summing the whole felicity of things, and all her life was conscious of his life, and all her being rejoiced, enfolding his. The immense remoteness of her trance had passed. Human she was once more, Earth's Savitri, yet felt in her illimitable change. A power dwelt in her soul too great for earth. A bliss lived in her heart, too large for heaven, light too intense for thought, and love too boundless for earth's emotions, lit her skies of mind and spread through her deep and happy seas of soul. All that is sacred in the world drew near to her divine passivity of mood. A marvelous voice of silence breathed its thoughts. All things in time and space she had taken for hers. In her they moved, by her they lived and were. The whole wide world clung to her for delight, created for her rapt embrace of love. Now, in her spaceless self, released from bounds, unnumbered years seemed moments long drawn out, the brilliant time flakes of eternity, outwingings of a bird from its bright home. Her earthly morns were radiant flights of joy. Boundless she was, a form of infinity, absorbed no longer by the moment's beat. Her spirit the unending future felt, and lived with all the unbeginning past. Her life was a dawn's victorious opening, The past and unborn days had joined their dreams. Old vanished eves and far arriving noons hinted to her a vision of prescient hours. Supine in musing bliss, she lay a while, given to the wonder of a waking trance. Half risen, then she sent her gaze around, as if to recover old sweet trivial threads, old happy thoughts, small treasured memories, and weave them into one immortal day. Ever she held on the paradise of her breast her lover, charmed into a fathomless sleep, lain like an infant spirit unaware, lulled on the verge of two consenting worlds. But soon she leaned down over her loved to call his mind back to her with her travelling touch on his closed eyelids. Settled was her still look of strong delight, not yearning now, but large with limitless joy, or sovereign last content, pure, passionate with the passion of the gods. Desire stirred not its wings, for all was made an overarching of celestial rays, like the absorbed control of sky on plain, heavens leaning down to embrace from all sides earth, a quiet rapture, a vast security. Then, sighing to her touch, the soft-winged sleep rose, hovering from his flower-like lids, and flew murmurous away. Awake, he found her eyes waiting for his, and felt her hands, and saw the earth his home given back to him once more, and her made his again, his passions all. With his arms encircling hold around her locked, a living knot to make possession close, he murmured with hesitating lips her name, and vaguely recollecting wonder, cried, "Whence hast thou brought me captive back, love chained to thee and sunlight's walls, O golden beam and casket of all sweetness, Savitri, Godhead and woman, moonlight of my soul? For surely I have travelled in strange worlds, by thee companioned, a pursuing spirit. Together we have disdained the gates of night. I have turned away from the celestial's joy, and heaven's insufficient without thee. Where now has passed that formidable shape which rose against us, the spirit of the void, claiming the world for death and nothingness, denying God and soul? Or was all a dream, or a vision seen in a spiritual sleep, a symbol of the oppositions of time, or a mind-lit beacon of significance in some stress of darkness, lighting on the way, or guiding a swimmer through the straits of death, or finding with the succour of its ray in a gully mid the crowded streets of chance the soul that into the world adventure came, a scout and voyager from eternity. But she replied, our parting was the dream. We are together. We live, O Shraddhavan. Look round thee and behold, glad and unchanged, our home, this forest with its thousand cries, and the whisper of the wind among the leaves, and through rifts in emerald seen the evening sky, God's canopy of blue sheltering our lives, and the birds crying for a heart's happiness, winged poets of our solitary reign, our friends on earth where we are king and queen. Only our souls have left death's night behind, changed by a mighty dream's reality, illumined by the light of symbol worlds and the stupendous summit self of things, and stood at Godhead's gates, limitless, free. Then, filled with the glory of their happiness, they rose, and with safe clinging fingers locked, hung on each other in a silent look. But he, with a new wonder in his heart, and a new flame of worship in his eyes, what high changes in thee, O Savitri! Bright ever thou wast, a goddess still and pure, yet dearer to me by thy sweet human parts, earth gave thee, making thee yet more divine. My adoration mastered, my desire bent down to make it subject, my daring clasped, claiming by body and soul my life's estate, rapture's possession, love's sweet property, a statue of silence in my temple spirit, a yearning Godhead and a golden bride. But now thou seemst almost too high and great for mortal worship. Time lies below thy feet, and the whole world seems only a part of thee. Thy presence, the hushed heaven I inhabit, and thou look'st on me in the gaze of the stars, yet art the earthly keeper of my soul, my life a whisper of thy dreaming thoughts. My morns a gleaming of thy spirit's wings, and day and night are of thy beauty part. Hast thou not taken my heart to treasure it in the secure environment of thy breast? Awakened from the silence and the sleep, I have consented for thy sake to be. By thee I have greatened my mortal arc of life, but now far heavens, unmapped infinitudes, thou hast brought me, thy illimitable gift. If to fill these thou lift thy sacred flight, my human earth will still demand thy bliss. Make still my life through thee a song of joy, and all my silence wide and deep with thee. A heavenly queen consenting to his will, she clasped his feet, by her enshrining hair enveloped in a velvet cloak of love, and answered softly like a murmuring lute, all now is changed, yet all is still the same. Lo, we have looked upon the face of God, our life has opened with divinity, we have borne identity with the Supreme, and known his meaning in our mortal lives. Our love has grown greater by that mighty touch, and learned its heavenly significance. Yet nothing is lost of mortal love's delight. Heaven's touch fulfills but cancels not our earth. Our bodies need each other in the same last. Still in our breasts repeat heavenly secret rhythm, our human heart beats passionately close. Still am I she who came to thee mid the murmur of sunlit leaves upon this forest verge. I am the Madran, I am Savitri. All that I was before, I am to thee still, close comrade of thy thoughts and hopes and toils. All happy contraries I would join for thee. All sweet relations marry in our life. I am thy kingdom even as thou art mine, the sovereign and the slave of thy desire, thy prone possessor, sister of thy soul and mother of thy wants. Thou art my world, the earth I need, the heaven my thoughts desire, the world I inhabit and the God I adore. Thy body is my body's counterpart, whose every limb my answering limb desires, whose heart is key to all my heartbeats. This I am, and thou to me, O Shraddhavan. Our wedded walk through life begins anew. No gladness lost, no depth of mortal joy. Let us go through this new world that is the same, for it is given back, but it is known, a playing ground and dwelling house of God, who hides himself in bird and beast and man, sweetly to find himself again by love, by oneness. His presence leads the rhythms of life that seek for mutual joy in spite of pain. We have each other found, O Satyavan, in the great light of the discovered soul. Let us go back, for eve is in the skies. Now grief is dead, and serene bliss remains the heart of all our days for evermore. Lo, all these beings in this wonderful world, let us give joy to all, for joy is ours. For not for ourselves alone our spirits came out of the veil of the unmanifest, out of the deep, immense, unknowable, upon the ignorant breast of dubious earth, into the ways of labouring, seeking men, two fires that burn towards that parent sun, two rays that travel to the original light. To lead man's soul towards truth and God we are born, to draw the checkered scheme of mortal life into some semblance of the immortal's plan, to shape it closer to an image of God, a little nearer to the idea divine. She closed her arms about his breast and head, as if to keep him on her bosom worn for ever through the journeying of the years. So for a while they stood entwined, their kiss and passion-tranced embrace, a meeting point in their commingling spirits, one forever, two-souled, two-bodied for the joys of time. Then, hand in hand, they left that solemn place, full now of mute, unusual memories, to the green distance of their sylvan home, returning slowly through the forest's heart. Round them the afternoon to evening changed. Light slipped down to the brightly sleeping verge, and the birds came back winging to their nests, and day and night leaned to each other's arms.